Hi, I'm Kimberly Washburn, Curator of Education at the Florence County Museum. Welcome to November's Family Day at Home. This month, we're talking all about cultural connections between cultures from around the world and arts and crafts. In this activity, we are going to be celebrating Native American Heritage Month, which is the month of November. We're going to be making corn husk dolls. Corn husk dolls were made by a lot of different Native American tribes all over the United States. So let's get started. You're going to need to gather a few things from your Family Day at Home kit. You're going to need your 5 corn husk pieces, your 7 rubber bands, and you're also going to need to gather a few things from around your home. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a stack of paper towels, and a tray or pan or bin with some water. We're going to be soaking our corn husks in water to soften them up. So you'll need about 1 inch or 2 of water in a pan. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take those corn husks and put them in a tray of warm water. We're going to let these corn husks soak for about 10 or 15 minutes so that they're soft and pliable. When they're dry, they feel really crisp, and we need them to be more pliable than this to work with. So I have these corn husks that have been soaking, and I'm going to remove them from the water and just place them between a couple of stacks of paper towels to blot out some of that moisture. And I'm going to grab 4 of my corn husks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just going to give them a press between these paper towels to remove as much of the water as possible, just so that they're not dripping on us as we work. Okay, that's probably good enough. All right, oh, there's a little bit more. You might want to try and dry them individually, or you may have some additional blotting to do. All right. Okay, so you can see how pliable and bendable these are now that they've been soaking. So the first step is to stack 4 of your corn husks and gather them by the small end. So if you take a look at your corn husks, they look a little bit triangular shaped. There's a smaller end and a larger end. So we're going to put all 4 of the smaller ends together. They may not all be exactly the same size, and that's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to just kind of bundle those up at the top. I'm going to kind of gather them with my fingers once they're all lined up, and use one of my rubber bands to secure all of these together in a bundle. So you want to loop it around as many times as you can just to make sure it's nice and sturdy. So this is kind of what it looks like, almost like a broom right now. Now we have 4 pieces of corn husk here, so I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to open this up a little bit like a book. I'm going to open the first piece of corn husk, and then the second piece, like this. So now I have 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. And I'm going to kind of open them up, fold them back over themselves, so that that little bundle that we created is hidden on the inside. So now we've folded them over, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. That little bundle we created before is hidden. And I'm going to create sort of another little bundle now, just kind of gathering it up. Now this is going to be the head of our corn husk doll, and we're going to put a rubber band to cinch it up to create the neck of our corn husk doll. Now, Native Americans would not have used rubber bands. They would have been using twine or string that they had created, maybe even from corn husks. Okay, so now you can see I have the head of my doll. These rubber bands just created the neck. Now I'm ready to give my corn husk doll some arms. So I'm going to go ahead and get that last piece of corn husk out of the water. I'm going to blot it dry. And I am going to just roll it up. So I'm going to start at one end, and I'm just going to roll it from one end all the way to the other end so that I have like a nice little rolled up bundle of corn husk, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to put a rubber band around each end. This is going to create the hands. So these rubber bands are making sort of the wrists of our corn husk doll. So these are going to be the arms. So there's one. I'll do the other side as well. You can also trim these if the ends are a little bit sharp or a little bit frayed. You can trim it up a little bit, which I might do. That's what your scissors are here for, just to kind of even these ends up. So one on each side. I might trim them so that they're about even. You can also slide your rubber band down if you want to create a little bit more space. Just do a little trimming. Okay, so these are going to be the arms of my corn husk doll. So let's come back to our doll. And again, I'm going to pick up two sheets, 1 and 2, kind of getting me back to that middle spot. And I'm going to stick the arms right in between those layers. So I lifted up 2 sheets and I stuck the arms in between the layers so that it looks like this. Okay? And then I'm going to gather up again right underneath the arms. This will sort of create a waist of our doll. So I'm going to again loop my rubber band around a few times, just like that. And now I have a doll with arms, a head, arms, and a waist. So if you want your corn husk doll to be a girl doll, you could just kind of fluff out these bottom corn husks a little bit to create the skirt of your doll, just like this. But if you would like to separate and not have your corn husk doll wearing a skirt, but you would like them to be able to see both of their legs, boy or girl, then what we're going to do is take these pieces of corn husk and kind of just tear them gently in half up to the waist area so that we divide them sort of in half. And so you can kind of just separate them. If some are in the way, just kind of tear them gently in half like that. And then you can just bundle these up at the base and put another rubber band to create ankles. Now, if you had some scrap pieces of fabric around your house, you could always create clothing for your corn husk doll. The only thing about a corn husk doll that all the Native American tribes that create these will tell you is that corn husk dolls never have faces. That's part of the Native American tradition of corn husk dolls. So we don't add a face to them. You can sort of just imagine what their face might look like. If you want to learn more about that tradition, look up the legend of the corn husk doll and you'll find out more information about why they don't have faces. Then at the end, whether you have a skirt or 2 legs, you can trim up those edges if you want to even them out. You can also just leave them natural. You don't have to trim them, but it's an option. Allow your corn husk doll to dry. It's still a little damp, but allow it to dry. And enjoy playing with your corn husk doll. And remember, this month is Native American Heritage Month. What can you learn about the Native Americans from your area? Hope you have a great month.